How's it, guys? Welcome to another session with Coach Magnus. This is Coach Justin. He's my, like most of you already know, he's my training partner, my assistant coach, my dummy, and he likes to bully me, right? So we've decided to start incorporating, well, start sooner with the Jiu-Jitsu aspects of MMA, no-gi, and we will be doing some gi stuff as well. The reason for that is I've got some friends down in Leipzig who would like some videos with like a little bit of extra assistance and so on, and the best way for me to give them that assistance right now is just by making some videos. It's a bit of a far drive to go through for a quick session, right? So we're starting off with your back in the guard attacks. Right, we've already done the armbar, it is on the channel. Lower down, right, you scroll down, you'll find it. It's called the basic armbar. And in that video I switch back into a triangle, right, defense. So what we're just going to focus on today is we're going to focus on doing basic triangle, right? And then later on we're going to look at the Kimura hip hop sweep. And then we're also going to be looking at omoplata. So armbars, triangles, omoplatas, kimuras, and even the guillotine, right? We mustn't forget the guillotine. Those 5-6 submissions, they kind of work in a nice little string, especially when you're off of your back, okay? And depending on how you're going to play and how you're going to roll, you can kind of always string it back, especially between the armbar triangle and especially between the armbar and triangle. And then heavy stuff in the kimura or the omoplata or even back into the guillotine. So it all depends on your game, what you know, and what your movement is like. A little bit later on, we will also do 10 movement drills to help improve your jiu-jitsu, but that will be a video on its own. A little bit later on, I first want to get through those first few things for the guys in Leipzig who's been rolling for a while now, but they just want to refine and straighten up, right? So let's get straight into it. Yep. So obviously the first rule I have is when I'm in the guard, I'm not going to leave my hips on the floor. Even if my guard slows down, I'm not leaving my hips on the floor. There's no way in hell, right? I'm going to come up and I'm going to put my hips on this guy's legs. Okay, this just gives me so much more. You'll notice later on we'll maybe turn, and you'll notice there's a lot of space here behind my hips, and that's going to allow me to start moving when he starts trying to isolate my hips to pass the guard. Right, so we'll get to that, but later on. Okay, so now I'm here, and we're going to set up a basic triangle. So for an armbar, 2 arms can be in. For a triangle, I need 1 arm in, 1 arm out. Okay. And the setup is pretty much the same, okay? I'm going to control. So the basic way they teach you, especially in gi, is to control here by the wrists. And at the end, I'm going to do a bit more of a different kind of grip thing for the adults in Leipzig. For the kiddies, please use the gi here, okay? And if you can't use the gi and you're doing no gi, right, you grab the wrists, okay? That's what's going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to pick a side. So for me, my strong side is this leg. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, 1 arm I'm going to push down, 1 arm I'm going to bring up. Okay, now when I do this, I'm going to have to open my legs. And when I open my legs, I'm going to take 1 leg into the hip, and I'm going to isolate the shoulder. The same way I'm doing an armbar, right? But now I'm not going from 1. You see? I'm starting to push this hand down. So I'm going to lift my hips up. You see how I brought my leg past this arm? See, I've got 1 arm in, 1 arm out. Okay, so I bring my hips up. Now I'm going to turn at the same time. I'm going to get my hamstring against his neck here. And I'm going to create a seatbelt. All the time you'll notice this foot. The knee is in behind the shoulder and the foot is on the hip so I can lift myself up. You see how I'm lifting my hips? So I need to kind of go and fetch this guy. Okay, so come up and I grab. Okay, I can always grab on the head and hold the head here just to kind of help me. But what I really wanted to do Okay, we call it a motorcycle. Like riding a motorcycle, boom. Alright, my bicycle. I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to shoot it around his head, and I'm going to grab my leg. I'm not going to grab my foot, okay, because it's going to hurt my foot. I can't grab on my toes. I can grab my ankle or my shin, and I'm going to pull him in. Okay, and this we call motorcycle. Okay, right. So now Coach Justin tries to sit up. He can't sit up. You see, I've got my motorcycle. Okay. Now this arm, I'm going to start pushing across my body. Now you see my foot's touching my knee here. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to open my leg, guys. Okay, that's just sit. Okay, because if I open my legs here, Coach Justin can start escaping with that leg. Oh no, look at that. My triangle is gone. Okay? So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to kick this leg straight. See there, now when he tries to attack this leg, look there, he can't get my leg, right? Because I just straighten it up. And then I put my foot behind my knee and I close it again. And now, even if this arm is still here, I can start fighting to get it across. You see how I'm lifting my hips up, pushing them away, making some space, and I pull this arm across. Now, from here, is what we're going to do is we're going to go koala bear. We like calling it koala bear. Okay? So I'm going to take my one hand, and I'm going to grab my shoulder here. Okay? And this other hand, see this arm that is out? I'm going to take this arm, I'm going to swim in underneath his arm, come around, and grab my leg. Now I'm going to turn so that I can look into Coach Justin's ear. Because if I don't look into his ear, my angle is wrong. If I'm here and I'm squeezing, look there, is he tapping? No, never, right? But when I turn and I look into his ear and now I start squeezing, oh look there, he just tapped. Okay, so the secret is to start turning when you're doing your trotting. So we'll go through it one more time for the kiddies, and then we're going to change it for the adults. Okay, so get wrist control. Boom, boom. Okay, I'm going to push one arm in, pull one arm up. Okay, the arm that I'm pulling up, that leg goes into the hip. Knee behind the shoulder. The other hand I push out and I open that leg. You see that? I open it. Okay, I didn't bring it straight up, I open it. With this leg, I'm now going to push my hips up to the sky, and I'm going to turn at the same time. Up, and you see I've already turned a little bit. I close my leg. If I want to grab his head, bring him down, I have to get my motorcycle. Okay, so now I've got my motorcycle. Once I've got my motorcycle, I kick my leg that's behind the shoulder straight. Don't open up, guys. Okay, just kick it straight with the foot behind your knee and close again. Now we push him away a little bit, bring his arm across down to my tummy. This hand that is open goes underneath his arm. Okay, and when I swim underneath his arm, I have to do what? I have to turn. Okay, this arm grabs my shin. Okay, so I replace my motorcycle with the other hand. I swim in, grab my shin again, and then I squeeze everything. Okay, I'm not pushing away. I bring everything towards me, and my hands here squeeze everything. I give him like the biggest bear hug the world has ever seen. Okay, so lock it, lock it, lock it, and then I squeeze. Okay, and he will tap. Awesome. Okay, now here's the drill. Your own drill, outer partner, you go butterfly sit. And from butterfly sit, I'm going to go backwards to my back. In the beginning, you can use your elbows to support you. But later on, I don't want you to use your elbows. I want your elbows up here. Okay? And I'm going to shoot my hips up. I'm going to turn. Shoot up, turn, and close. Did you guys see that? Show you to the other side. Up, turn, and close. Okay? But later on, I don't want to see the elbows there. I want to see you go up. Up. Right. Okay. And a good drill for the adults as well. Super good. When you're doing it with your partner, you're going to drill in, out, up, closed, and back. Right? You see, I'm not even going properly into guard. I'm just going to stay here for now. In, up, properly, close, back. See how I'm controlling every time an arm? In, up, over, closed. Okay, and that's the drill that you guys are going to do. Right? Super simple, super basic. So, sorry guys, I'm sweating like this. Crazy. Alright, so rule number 1, hips off the floor. We'll go over guard 101 a little bit later. Hips off the floor. Okay. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to decide. You see, Coach Justin's going to control here. So I can't sit up. Now, just sit up a little bit straight, not keep your arms with the arm. Now you're going to notice, Coach Justin is a smart guy. He keeps his hands in the middle of my legs. You see that? But he's not so smart. Because now I get to choose what I want to do. Okay? With the fundamentals of movement, which I did send to Coach Simon, right? This will explain what I'm doing here. Okay? But I get to choose now. Okay? We'll get into the fundamental movement later. Okay, so this is reset there. So yeah. Now I get to choose. Do I want to do arm bar? Do I want to do triangle? See how I pull this arm out there. So now, if his arms are in the middle, that's what I'm doing. If his arms are on the inside, I'm doing a triangle. Claw. No excuses. I'm doing triangle here. I'm not going to fight for a freaking arm bar here, because he's going to escape if we're going to fight for the arm bar. Guarantee you this is going to pass me. Okay? I'm doing triangle. Done. If his arms are on the outside, I'm doing arm bars. Okay? Because for me to get this arm in between my legs, one in, one out, it's too much work. Okay? So, outside, arm bars, kimuras, omoplatas. Okay? That's what we play. Middle, I get to choose arm bar, triangle, kimura, omoplata, whatever I'd like to play. Right? That's what I'm going to play. Arms on the inside, I am playing triangle. Simple. Okay, so we go back to the middle. When it's in the middle, just reset so we can show it nicely. Okay, when it's in the middle, I'm going to take one hand behind the elbow. I'm going to pop the elbow open. At the same time, I'm going to knock this elbow in. Okay, because this is my strong side, that's why I'm going this way. So I do this. You see there, what's happened? It's opened up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go halfway. Halfway and lock. Okay. Now from there, I'll start resetting and sliding into my triangle. Take my arm, and when I put this arm in, guys, I'm cutting it in here, next to his neck. I'm grabbing my shin. Look at the veins in his head, it's really about to pop. I can finish in here if I want to. See that? Okay, but we're doing proper triangle. Okay, so from here, I start turning my angle. Right? I haven't locked up yet, but I'm looking into the ear. Now, keep my leg straight, lock it in behind. I don't care what this arm does. You can take this arm and put it there. I don't care. This arm slides in right next to his ear, and I grab. Then I can swing in here. And I'm not going to hold my shin like with the kids. I'm going to grab S-grip. Right? So grab S-grip. And I'm taking this elbow and I'm tucking it in. I'm still finishing my triangle by squeezing and bear hugging. Right? It's all gapping. But now, you see the gap here in the shoulder. This arm takes that gap out. See that? Okay, so my leg is still closing the distance. That's why I don't care about this one. Okay? So here and I squeeze. Now, why do I grab this arm and not the leg? 2 reasons. Way more pressure on his head, right? And he can't lift me. Okay, so if I'm in the triangle position here, and he starts lifting, and I grab his leg, he can still lift me up. You see there? He can still break it. If you're running a strong guy. Now, I lock it up. I go around the head. He goes. This is already tapped. You see how much more pressure I get there? And you can't lift me off your feet. Okay, boom. So that's the triangle, guys. Okay, we can get into more detail later on. First get this basics right. Okay, those are the changes I want you to make. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Now hope it helps. Obviously, if you guys got any questions, especially the guys in Leidenburg, pop me a message, man. Anybody else, you can find us on social media somewhere. Madness, Justin, right? You'll find us somewhere. Either Instagram, Facebook. If you can't get a hold of us on YouTube, we'll get you as soon as we can.